Hi, it's Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories. I'm here today again with Lydia Durham. Hey, Lydia, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is our part two to Lydia's story, and we tried to keep the first part a mystery, slash, we had untold number of technical difficulties. So today we're going to get to more of Lydia's story and why we're even interviewing Lydia. It's a fascinating story. So welcome back, Lydia. Um,
Thank you.
We had talked yesterday kind of about your childhood. You were adopted, you lived in a very unhealthy environment. Seems like everyone was a little bit off the rails there. So I wanted to ask a few follow-up questions with you. And if anything is ever too sensitive, just, we're going to smooth over it and just say pass or whatever.
Right.
So your father often had large sums of cash laying around
Yes.
the house in bags, in his car, in I think you almost said floorboards once, but you found a lot of cash around the house. And it wasn't from his employment, all right? Because he got paid by check, which he put in the bank when he did. So do you think he was being paid for nefarious activities?
I
Ongoing.
I mean,
Yeah,
right. I mean, it had to come from somewhere
yeah,
because
yeah,
there's no way a truck driver from Paul's Trucking could,
yeah,
who has two homes, a boat, this, that, their bills are paid, okay,
yeah, yeah.
everything going
It,
on.
it's not typical.
Cars, cars break down, whatever, you just get a new one, whatever
Yeah,
the heck's going on. You got all that, and you're not even cashing checks. Your bills are still paid, and you got just thousands and thousands of dollars of cash laying around rather as well. I mean, who can do that?
right.
So
Nobody.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to be, and to the point where, when I was younger, I thought it was normal.
yeah,
People are looking at me like I'm crazy.
yeah. Nobody. Nobody had money, and probably I'd say nobody has money now either.
You got
You know,
that
like,
right.
I'm talking the average middle class home, like
Oh yeah.
everyone is working, they're stretched thin. There's not bags of money laying around the house
Oh
usually.
yeah. I mean, my friends didn't have summer homes like that and all that
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Yeah. So you told
Mm-mm.
us a story where he was buying drugs one night, like in secret, sending cash down, getting whatever drugs.
Well, no, that was my brother's room.
Oh, your brother. Okay. Okay. Scratch that question. One of my questions was, do you think your dad was selling drugs, or was he doing jobs for people above and beyond? Or was it payment for taking care of you and your brother? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no idea where that was coming from.
Okay.
Still to this
Okay.
day,
Yeah.
none.
All right. So let's talk about your brother. Is he still alive on planet Earth?
I don't know where he is. I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. So
Mhm.
he basically was doing drugs when he was like a teen and a young man.
Mhm.
And he probably, I'm going to say it like this, let his environment shape his future. Like
Right.
you did not let your environment shape your future. Like you had a really crazy environment. And, a lot of people, you go down the dark path, if you will. You do drugs, alcohol, all sorts of nefarious things, and you haven't. Where your brother,
Right. And I'll say why too, I
yeah,
guess. Being that, my brother, my cousins, and this and that, they were older.
yeah,
So, like, I used to always, when I was younger, like, I used to be like, why do they act like that? Like, sometimes, because now, see, it's not that people weren't good people. It's not that at all. I just noticed, like, sometimes they would be, have combative attitudes, or, like certain just things, like they would get angry, or, and act certain ways. I didn't like
right,
that. I
yeah,
didn't like that when, you're bringing on the stress, you're arguing with people, you're upset, like these moods out of nowhere. Like, I mean, I got a real high level of PTSD from that. I
yeah,
don't like that. So, I used to wonder, why do they act like that? And then when I found out, like, so say something came up about, this person's doing drugs, and then they'd start arguing about people doing drugs. I'm like, oh, is that why? I put two and two together. Is that why they act like that? Drugs are making people act like that.
Yeah.
And I just had it set in my head, well, I'm not doing that. I never want to act like that. So I always affiliated like drugs with that attitude. Like drugs equals acting like that. Like when you're not on drugs, you act like this.
Yeah.
And they were fun or they were this or they were that. The minute you go to being on drugs, you act like this.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't ever want to act like that. So
it's like
that
when
did
you're
it for
around
me.
someone that's drunk and obnoxious, they think
Yeah,
they're cool, but you're like, ooh, they're
mhm,
horrible, right, to be
I don't
around.
like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at
Yeah.
all. Mhm.
So throughout your life, have you ever thought about your brother and like who he was prior to being adopted? Like, do you have any theories about him or what's happened to him?
Um,
Why he was in that household, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not sure. I
Okay,
mean, I'm sure. I mean, if I was there, who knows who he really is?
that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I thought about that, and yeah, who knows who he really is, what really happened to him, if he's being tortured, has he been tortured, what has been done to him,
Yeah,
and what's going on?
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows why he's the
How much
way
older was he than you?
6 years?
Okay.
So like when I speak these things, I'm not speaking bad about him. I'm just saying the story.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying the story. I'm on an interview. Love you. Okay, sweetheart. That's a little girl. So cute.
Gotta love him.
You could go see Colin on your break as long as you're feeling better. Anyway, it
Okay,
is kids.
so that leads to my next topic, and like I said, we can gloss over this, but was there any satanic ritual abuse in your household?
Um, I mean, there's all different, okay, let's say there's all different forms of satanic ritual abuse.
Right.
Okay, so there's different forms. And I think what I've noticed through this cult is they pick a form or different forms for certain people, right?
Yeah.
The forms that they're using for me versus, say, someone else, when they do what they do to me, they like leaving certain trails where it's not as obvious. It'll be harder to prove.
Right.
It's not so much in like your face, say. So it's more of a cryptic, like clues. It's more of that, like they're not going to say bust the windows and bust your door down, come in the house all the time, this and that, and leave this ton of evidence. Okay. They're not coming like that when they do it to me. Other people, they're going to do different stuff
Different
too,
things. Right, right, right.
right. So I'm not saying that, whatever, but I'm just giving an example with saying this. So for instance, like certain people may go into the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning and start performing like hanging cats from trees. Okay. And that's their form. Okay. Other people may taunt you in a
And
certain
I
way.
know, I know
They,
you're getting that now. I'm really asking about as
yes,
a kid, more or
right. No,
less.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So therefore, when that kind of stuff was happening when I was a child, it's always been the emotional, verbal, spiritual, gaslighting, abuse, the training of you're not good enough, the training of you're never going to be nothing. The training of you'll never have nothing. The training of try, 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 you can do it. The gaslighting, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, and then grab it from her because you're not good enough, Lydia. You'll never be nothing. You know, it's a set pattern that is a wash, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat,
Yeah.
wash, rinse, repeat. That is literally, it is impossible. It's literally, and when I say impossible for somebody's life to be like this, it's literally
Yeah.
impossible, and
Yeah.
unless there's somebody behind the scenes, like setting this up, like literally trailing you, setting this up. I mean, the things that happen. So even when I was your car accidents, um, you know,
Yeah.
things like even listen, eggs was a thing. Eggs was a thing. Even Halloween night, 1995. It was the first year I got my license. 17. Okay. Halloween night. They threw eggs. I had the window open because it was warm. It was hot out. It was in front of a McDonald's, and they threw eggs directly through my driver's side window and hit me in the face. I could not see. There was a head-on collision with a truck
Wow.
right there.
Right.
I went to Muhlenberg Hospital in Plainfield, New Jersey. Okay. Now, I was driving my mother's Bonneville at the time. It was like a reddish Bonneville at the time. Now, but there was something with eggs that they used to taunt me with,
Okay.
even prior to that. Now, okay. So the car accident's always been a thing. Um, the whole, every time I would want to do something, it was build her up to tear her down, no matter what it was. And the constant, like, no matter what I do, I cannot get away from abusive people, no matter what. No matter how good I am at something, no matter what, I'm not going to grab a hold of it.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure, no matter if I do start to create any kind of like finance or whatever, it's going to be taken,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it's going to crash down. You know, can't get ahead. If I do get something for myself, something's always there to just like destroy.
Right.
It's even since I was a kid though, even with kid things, whether it was the gymnastics, just little things, people saying little things to me or coming up to me, weird, really weird things that used to just occur. And I'm talking about like, and then they used to even, like leave Ouija boards,
Oh. Yeah.
um like weirdo, like things I remember from, and I used to be like, they used to send people in, I kid you not, now that I think about it, I'm like, was that them sending people, like trying to get me into witchcraft? They used to People used to come around me with these, I remember they used to come to me with these games, and I'm like, what the hell is it? Now that I think about it too, when I sit back and really, I'm like, I really think they were trying to like turn me into some kind of a witch or something, because, and I just rejected it. And I think that's really what pisses them off too, because it was these little games, and I'm telling you, these games, it's like, I think it had like cards, and it was like how to do like spells and stuff, and they actually had these, like a black kind of bag thing with these little chips in them, and the chips had these like designs or something. It was like hard clay, like it wasn't like Play-Doh or whatever clay. It's like hard clayish kind of stuff with these designs or something on them that meant whatever it meant. I don't even know what it meant. I wasn't trying to really no. But I remember at first like saying, "What is that?" And like having an interest, but not an interest as in like, "Oh, I'm interested. I want to know what it
Yeah,
is. I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
learn." But I
yeah.
just was like, "What the hell is like? What are you doing? What is, like?" And I'm just like, "What are you doing?" And then they're like, "Oh," and they would use love a lot, "Oh, because they would always send people in to like, oh, I love you, oh, this and that, and then screw me over, whether it's friends or boyfriend, whoever. And then, so then they would come and be like, oh, you could cast love spells and, people love you forever. Like, and it would be stuff like you write a note and you use these little things and you,
Right.
put the
Okay.
note you bury the note in the yard, like literally you got to bury the note in the yard, like you're gonna find true love, it's gonna last forever, and this and I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, like 15, I'm like, oh, maybe it'll work, you got to do love potions, like, and I'm, you know what I mean, like that, literally people would come, like these new friends, would come and be like, you got to do love potions, all this kind of stuff, like, oh, here it is, they would hear yelling and screaming, like people on the phone with me hear the yelling and screaming in the house, and like, her or whatever yelling and screaming. Oh, you could do a spell for that. It will make it stop. Trying to get me to do these spells, like literally with this stuff. Oh, want to learn how to do the tarot cards, learn how to do but with spells, like not just do tarot cards,
Right.
like who
Right.
cares, whatever, who cares with tarot, but like they wanted you to do spells with it, like
Right.
literally
Yeah.
mix
Manipulate
potions.
others. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
basically, you had a lot of these like little clues, which you still have in your life. I'm on your Telegram
Mhm.
channel. So I see you out, you still have it and you're following it and you notice it. But
Oh, you know what too?
what?
My brother too. My kid. Listen, my daughter knows how to play Halloween on the piano. All my kids do. My brother, it's the weirdest thing. It's like everybody in the house was obsessed with horror. He would sit there and play the Halloween music and then watch it over and over again. You'd walk past the door and all you hear is near, 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 24 hours a day. And I
So
used to go,
negative and dark stuff, really.
yeah, man. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
wait, here. You had Charles Manson, Helter Skelter. You had Halloween. You had Jason. You had it. You had then when all the newer ones, you had, oh, Dexter. Dexter was a big one. You had that. You had the all of them. All of them. It was constant. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like it's constant, like over and over and over. All they do, you had to constantly the music going
yeah,
constant
yeah.
with the horror. I'm telling you, it's unreal, And then they would constantly like, oh, this constant talk about it, and then Psycho was a big one too. I constantly had to hear, and then with the mother all the time.
It's shocking how many horror movies they're cranking out and how it influences people to think that that is a normal way of being. So you noticed a lot of clues, and then your brother had like kind of the same thing going. But all right, so the head-on collision with the truck, how bad was that accident? Like, was it really bad and you're lucky to be alive, or was it just like I had egg in my eyes, I couldn't see, I lost control? Like, kind of how bad was that accident?
Well, they had to cut me out, like, because my leg, I thought I was paralyzed at first, but I wasn't, thank God.
Yeah, yeah,
But I had a broken nose.
mm,
And at first my leg wouldn't move, but it came back.
yeah,
Um, and stuff like that. I gained back,
yeah. Okay.
so.
So it was pretty bad, pretty
Mm.
serious that they had to cut you out of the car. I just wanted to like note that for our tally sheet as we go through this video, because we're finding a lot of people that, in our little circle that have kind of lived through life-threatening events and made it through okay. So just wanted to note that. All right, now, as of yesterday, we left off where you were, you moved out of the house, or your mom and you moved out of the house. And then you had baby Daniel, and that's kind of where we left off. Like,
Mm.
kind of tell us about that point in your life, and then move us forward slowly. Any
Well,
major,
yeah, because
yeah,
I used to go out all the time to get the heck out of there,
yeah,
because it was like a nut house, So then, I was going out, and then yeah, see that then when I got pregnant, that was a problem. I mean, the yelling and screaming and everything that went on with that was like unreal, And then, well, I got pregnant with Daniel, and then we moved back in with George because she was where I can't afford everything,
yeah,
And then that happened, and I was being blamed for that, you know.
yeah,
I,
okay.
yeah, I was being blamed for that. So then, all this other stuff was going on, and let's see. So yeah, I mean,
And so did you go to college? Did you, like, did
no,
you
not
get a
right.
job? What, like, what'd you
Oh
do?
yeah, yeah, I was working over there by True Green Chemlon.
Okay,
They go, yeah.
yep, okay, and that, so fast forward us a little bit more. I know you got married, and I know you went to
Oh,
nurse.
that's later, later.
Yeah, so you went
That's
to
later,
nursing
later.
school eventually, like, what time
Mm.
frame was that?
Oh, that was like 2006.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's later, later.
okay, later, okay, so move us forward from that point then, you know,
Oh, from the 2006.
from being, say, 17, 18, 19, move us forward a little bit and tell us just any major events that might have happened, and because we've got a lot to go through, we're not going to be
Mm.
able to do it all today. And so tell us, kind of like, streamline the process till we get to more of the mystery unfolding.
Okay, from
Yeah.
let me think.
You had the baby, you moved back in, what happened then? You were working, living, your mom was there, blah, blah, blah. They eventually got divorced. Then what happened?
Let's see. We were by Middlesex, and then I remember George was still like calling or whatever, but then he had some other lady though. He had some other lady, but he was still calling, trying to whatever. But there was some other lady around him, but he got reported for like peeping through people's windows and stuff,
Ooh, okay. All right.
And I mean, but and then they the person from the apartment complex, like I got called over there for whatever, and
Yeah.
I told the person, I said, well, what do you want me to do about it? I was like, that's what he does. He peeks through people's windows. Like, I'm like, I
Yeah.
told them, I
Yeah.
straight up, I said, they're like, well, we might have to kick him out. It's like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's what he does. He peeps through people's windows. It's your problem now. You
Wow.
guys let him in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, what do you want me to do? Take him in our house? And then he had the lady there, and she was just, I don't know who this lady was. She was just as weird as him. She was pissing in a shoe.
What?
I
Okay.
swear to God, I can't make
Wow.
it up. She was pissing in a shoe. She pissed in a shoe. Okay. And then she was upset. She was upset because I was there, and she had the nerve to say something because I was over there. She was out there, man. She had the nerve to say something because I was over there. And I just ignored it at first. But then when she said something about my mother, like, your mother took money from him in the divorce, which, first of all, she didn't. Why? Because the divorce, whatever, how they'll cut the pension in half and all that, whatever. And I said, excuse you? I said, go ahead and say one more thing. I did. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, first of all, it ain't your business to get involved. I said, there's a bunch of shoes over there. Keep pissing.
Oh,
Mind your
what,
business.
Yeah. So was
Which
this
is
a girlfriend? Was this
I don't know who was. She probably was there because she needed somewhere to stay.
yeah.
So, and he's bored, like he's lonely. He needs to have something going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's just like he's standing there like, and I'm like,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I was like, why don't you stop peeping through people's windows and keep somewhere to, keep a roof over your head?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's fast forward then to when the action starts. Like we've,
Oh, there's well, what do
go
you
ahead.
mean?
Well, I mean, we got a lot to talk about today. So like keep moving this
Oh, you
forward.
mean when they started cryptic
Yeah.
messaging?
Yeah. So I want to talk about your marriage. All right. So we want to talk about that. I know you don't, but just the general outline so people get it. All right. So what year did you get married?
2010.
Okay. So you were a nurse before that. You went to nursing school.
Mm.
You got your
Well, yeah, I started nursing school before that, but I didn't graduate. I graduated in 2010.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a nursing, I don't know, degree, certificate, whatever it was.
Hmm.
So you had a profession and
Hmm.
you're clearly very
I
smart.
had that. I had my real estate license.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So then how did you meet your husband, your future husband? Like, did he seek you out? Was it coincidental? Like how did that all happen?
I think it was set up. It was at
Yeah.
karaoke.
Well, that's what I want to know. I'm trying to ask the questions and then
Hmm.
give me something here.
Okay. All right. Here
Throw me
we
a
go.
bone.
All right. Well, I mean, what I seem to think, because they put these people in, think about it. I'm just going to say what I think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Think about it, because when I look at what they do and how they do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you are surveilling people without them knowing, unknowingly to them, right? You have surveillance going on. And you also have been infiltrating the person for a while without them knowing, unknowingly to them.
Right.
You kind of know their situation, their predicament, their this, their that,
Yeah,
their needs, their
yeah,
wants,
yeah,
their everything.
yeah.
And also you've been putting them in certain positions and whatever, right? So it's easy to know where they're going, where they'll be, their routine, like a stalker. You know what
Yeah,
they're going to do, you
yeah,
know everything, right?
yeah.
So now, when you want to place somebody in their life, or that person who's been watching them, you'll have maybe that person even watch them so that person will get to know them,
Yeah, yeah,
so that person will know, okay, well, or be given orders. Now you're going to go meet that person, right? That person's going to know exactly what to say to you, because they're going to know what you need, what you like, what you
right,
want, what
right.
you're interested in, the whole nine yards. So when they act like they don't know you or act like whatever, they're going to know exactly
It's
who
a
they
big
need.
act. It's a big act.
That's right. It's the
Yeah.
give them what they want game.
Yep, yep.
That's all it is, right? So, you know, we have somebody that walks in, and whatever's going on, they're just there, boom, 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 things happen. And I find it amazing how, after the night of karaoke, he has a car issue on the way home. Like I see him, after everything, we're talking, singing, and he comes right up to people that I know, and he's talking this and that, and that's how everything happens. And
Right,
then,
right.
on the way home, I'm like, that's that guy. He's on the side of the road. And I stopped, as anybody would, because you were just talking to them and having a good time. Everybody's hanging out. And you're like, well, yo, are you all right? Do you need me to make a call? You know what I mean? Because like you're like, that's that guy that we were all talking to, you know? And he's like, no, I'm good, this and that. And, and we were talking about another place. And that's how the numbers and everything got exchanged, because you're talking about another place to go to,
Uh-huh.
another night like that I didn't know about, which would have been another like kind of trap, because they knew, like I would be looking for this type of place and didn't know where it was and blah, 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 blah. And he did, you know so this and that. He's like, oh yeah, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, yeah, this and that. So that happens. It's just funny because the car problem thing is something I, have had once this kicked off, But
Yeah.
anyway, so then all of a sudden, it just keeps going.
Okay. So basically he meets up with your group of friends and you're all singing and having a good time. You leave to go to a second place. His car is
No,
broken.
we left to go home that night.
Oh, so his
The
car is
second
broken
place would have
down.
been another night, yes.
All right. So did you give him a ride?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
No,
So
he was getting home, but
so you met him a second night just out, and then how did things progress from there?
well, that with a group of people, we he just told me where that place was, which
Yeah.
was Hugo's karaoke, um, somewhere else, but yes. And yeah, everything was, cool and everything. So
Yeah.
mhm.
You're killing me, man. And then what happened? Like, come on, just tell. We're gonna get through it quickly.
Well, he would say all the right words, like,
Okay.
I'd be saying certain things and this and that. And he's like, oh, this conversation's refreshing and, this and that and blah, 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 blah. And then he'd be saying, he was just, listen, he was so good that everybody I knew, the family, everybody would say, where did you meet this guy? God, he's just, wow, you know, he's so good. But
Right.
here's the thing, the second you get married to the guy, it was the day after. Now he takes a week off from work. Now he was a truck driver too. I should have known then. But anyway, he was a truck driver for Snapple. Anyway, so takes a week off from work. And I'm thinking, oh well, we took a week off, because of the wedding. Nah, he didn't take a week off for me. He gets up the next morning. He was gone. Oh yeah. Oh, you see, this is the kind of sadistic. This will go into the sadistic crap too, because this is what they do. It's the constant gaslighting. People don't realize this is it's sadistic abuse because it's the pattern. You got to watch the pattern. They do it in a way. Okay, now you get up and you leave. Oh, I'm going to look for cars because it was. I'm going to go trade old cars all day, every day. That's what I do. What the hell? Okay, but yeah, I know you do the car thing. Yeah, you like that. That's cool. But that's what you're doing now? The hell?
So did you, I hate to ask the question, did you love him before you married him? Or were you kind of like swept up in the moment, like he was really charming and you had fun, and then
No,
he's
I think I probably was swept up in the moment. Now
yeah,
that I
yeah,
think about it.
yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So you guys get married and the next morning he gets up and
Hey,
goes.
he's gone the
All
whole
right.
day too.
And did
Oh
he
yeah,
come back at night or
yeah,
like
at night, at
yeah.
night.
So
But
he
I'm
would do
telling you, the majority of the time he was out too. He was gone, man.
yeah, yeah. So that is what I'm trying to get to, like the oddness of the marriage, okay?
Oh God, want me
Yeah.
to keep going?
All
I'll
right.
keep going.
Yeah, I want you to keep going. So you were you
I'm
working
gonna
at
I'm gonna hit it now. I'm gonna hit it. It,
go?
it gets weird, man.
Okay.
It gets weird, man. I can't make it up. I mean, really. I just, anyway, so I mean, this is you don't even wait a week to work. I mean, you don't even wait a month, couple of months, nothing. I'm telling you. I mean, anyway. So then I'm like, well, this is odd. Okay. Now he does that. And I'm like, okay, that's strange. Then I'm like, they're like, where's Craig? And I'm thinking, man, this is embarrassing. I'm like, oh, well, he had something to do. I'm making an excuse because I'm like, man,
Yeah.
this is embarrassing. This is like crazy.
Yeah.
You know? You know. So anyway, I told him to go because I'm really tired, because it's embarrassing, you know? So anyway,
Yeah.
he would do a lot of stuff like that. Then it would be he'll go to work and it's like, I'm going to karaoke tonight till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did he invite you?
Oh yeah, sometimes.
Hmm.
Sometimes, but then he, but other times he knew, look, he banked on me not want to go. Because he knew I don't want, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a big, I don't want to do that all the time. Careless about that. He knows that. He knew I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Who okay, he's into like old cars, right? To the point where all the cars he'll get, they get these things in Jersey. This is how I even learned about this. I wouldn't have even known this. They called QQ plates. So it's for, I guess, antique cars. Okay. So I think you don't have to pay like you don't have to get something on the car, something. You get QQ plates, antique plates or something. So you don't have to register or stuff, something like that. I don't know how I don't remember. It's like something with these cars and plates. He would get these cars and flip these cars like every couple of days. He would move these cars faster than I have never seen anything like that in my life. He doesn't have a car lot. He does like I mean,
Do
I have
you do you think there was something in the cars?
man, I don't know. Listen, that's where I get because look, he even now, when we went from the one house to the other, he had a key to my shed. I never went in the shed. I didn't care. So I didn't care about the shed, but he had a key. He used to lock. Listen, he locked the shed, and I didn't even have a key to it. He started locking it. I couldn't even get in. And then he would hook that shed up to the point there was an air conditioning in the window thing. There was this and that. And he'd go in there and lock it. You
Ooh.
can't even, yeah. But these cars would be moving. He'd have, then he started, listen, we had a complaint because he started bringing 3 or 4 of them, pull them in the back, and then be switching. Like, I don't even know the names of these damn cars. There'd be 3 or 4, then he'd be like switching. People would be coming to the house to buy the one, then they'd be moving out, and he have other ones in there.
All right. So you're saying
Constantly.
he had a locked shed with air conditioning in it.
Yeah, and lights. You would see it in the evening, like you come in there, be working on because he would do a couple things to the car to get. He'd have calls come in. He's always on Craigslist. Craigslist browsing, putting the cars on. Like he'll browse for new ones, and then he'll put the cars on. He'll put the cars on the Craigslist to sell the ones that are there. I told him, I made a joke one time. I said, "This looks like a junkyard, man." I'm like, you know, I'm gonna hang those rainbow color flags and put used car lot here. I said, it looks crazy. I said, this junk looks crazy here. You know, it did. It looked, there was even car parts in the house. I said, you
Ooh.
got to get that out of here, man. There was a back of a car, like
Okay.
of the inside of the car
So
in the house.
he was selling a lot of cars. Did he make a ton of money doing that?
Hell no.
Okay. So it's interesting that he pursued it. So I mean, everyone has their passion, but interesting that he pursued
No,
it
man.
like he did, you know?
Listen. There was a time I sent it to this other guy. I had money in safe deposit box because I used to do stuff for my son, this and that. And what I went to the safe deposit box to get money out to do something. His name, I said, what the hell? His name was on that box 8 to 10 times in one day.
Whoa. He went in to get the
I
box 8 or 10 times during one day?
during one day. I took a picture of it and sent it. I won't give his last name on here to a guy named Billy. And I said, Billy, he was in this box like how many times?
That's not typical.
No crap. But here, I remember too. I told him too the one time. I said, "Don't have these guys come to this house a damn again," because one of them was being real combative. He was from like Newark, New Jersey, or whatever, and that's real. So I was like, "Whoa, Jack." Because he was like, it was bad. Like, he's like, "I'm gonna go to this car ain't working, mother." And I was like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Oh man," I'm like, "This knows what and I'm like, oh man, oh God, he was like, "I'm gonna come out there and fix it," he's like, "Man, you better not talk," and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you know, and he's going back and forth, whatever, and I'm like, whoa, Jack, but like it's constant, and then here's the thing, somebody tells me like this though. They said, Lydia, do you know why people get old cars like that? And I was like, well, why? And they're like, they were like, because you can't trace them. They don't have the technology.
Well, that was what I was trying to get at. Old cars, they could hide stuff in them, and they don't have all the chips like the modern cars do. And, yeah. So,
So then, yeah, they were like, so what do you think was it? I'm like, listen, I said, I don't know.
yeah.
And right about now, I don't care.
Okay.
I said, I don't want to think about it. Like, I'm like, because I'm just sitting there like, like, damn, because listen, it gets so deep. Listen to me. He does all this. He baited me in to do whatever he was doing. And when I'm telling you, it's going to get deep. He does all this crap. Okay. Then it's not even 24 hours and he discards me completely. Okay. Listen, and there's people that could be witnesses on a court stand to everything. If this comes, whatever, which I hope it does come out
Yeah.
soon. I've been telling you that. I hope it does. There's people that could be witnesses because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we even went to counsel with this crap. There's people that could be witnesses. Okay, now, then, you go to whatever. He would be like, I don't like to be touched. I don't like to be touched. And then he told somebody, my wife is beautiful and everything, but I don't like to be touched. Then he told me, I'm going to tell everybody this one. He said, I want you to have sex with other people. I
Yeah.
said, you want see that's that now that's that polygamy damn
Yep.
what the heck is his name?
Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's him. Now,
Yeah.
Warren Jeffs. Okay, that's the Warren Jeffs crap right there now. He said, I want you to have sex with other people. And that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I could have witnesses on the stand to all this crap, the cars, the this, the that, all of it.
Yeah.
He said, I want you to have sex with other people. I said, you want me to what?
Yeah. Like,
He
why,
said,
why marry somebody if you're going to ignore them and
oh,
whatever?
wait,
And I know we have more to
yeah,
the story, so
it's going. I'm
yeah,
going.
it's
So
going.
he said, I want you to have sex with other people. I said, you what? And I'm like, he goes, I just don't want to hear about it. But you have sex with other people. Because see, I don't want to hold you back from your sex life because I don't feel like having sex with you. But I still want to be married. And I'm like, oh, what the hell am I involved in? What is this? And then he's like, because, and then if I said anything like, are you going to be home tonight? Because I was going to, do something, right? Asking a question like that is like having a noose around my neck.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common question, like, should I make dinner for two, or, or whatever? Basic
I'm
stuff.
like, No, not really. I said, this guy's effing nut.
Yeah.
So then, so then it'd be like, okay, he listen, do you know what he did too? I swear this happened. I have witnesses for this too. I have a witness for this too. I have witnesses for all of this, you know. I go to a, it was like we were at this thing, right? That I was invited to for somebody I knew. They were doing this like contest, like it was like this singing thing, right? Right. And it's a little thing. You wear like you win like Mary Kay stuff and all this, whatever. But anyway, yeah. And it's like a singing thing though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And some girl, she got up there and played the guitar and sang her own song. And then the rest of us were just singing something regular. I didn't even know you could sing your own song, you know? Anyway, but she was playing the guitar. He says, turns to me, and he literally says, no, I said, so who you voting for, Craig? You know, joking around. He goes, man, I'm voting for that girl right there, man. She's bad. Who says, like, so you tell the person you're married to, man, and serious too, man, I'm voting for her. She's bad, man. Man, her song was, man, she's good. And you mean it. I said, are you serious? He's like, yeah, she's good. She can sing. She played the guitar. She's good. I said, so F me. He's like, well, she was good, man. I swear to God.
Yeah.
That's a no. One time he told me too that he had to go to his friend's house to pick something up with the cars and stuff like that. And then he was like, yeah, you know, back in the day when me and her used to have sex, you know, I mean, her sex was better than yours though.
But yeah, he didn't like to be touched, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I kid you not, this is this kind of stuff. And you know, and I'm like, what in the hell am I? Now she was, listen, she was a lot, not that it matters, but I said to myself, well, maybe he's into heavy girls, you know. She was a lot heavier than me. No, I was thinking like, because in my mind I'm like, well, maybe, you know, some guys they like, you know, every guy's different. So I'm like, maybe he likes real heavy, you know, maybe that's what he's into or something. I was like, but then what the hell do you marry? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and get it.
why
That
be
was weird.
married is the bottom line. But it gets worse, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
it appears to the viewer then that he's kind of a handler for you. He charmed you, he married you, then he's like hands off, back
Oh
away.
yeah.
I'm doing my thing. So he wants to stay married and kind of watch you, but he doesn't actually want your
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
when I started telling him, like, man, F you,
Yeah.
man, you know what I mean? I ain't got time. You know, when I started whatever, you'd be like, oh, look at the way you talk, look at the way you act. Look. And I'm like, well, and I used to tell him this, like, I want to clarify that to people. I told him, you don't act like a husband. There's nothing to respond to. Let's get this right. And I used to look him in his face and tell him that.
Yeah.
Let's get this right. I'm going to tell you what a marriage is, what a woman and a husband is. A husband is to, you know, is to give a woman something to respond to. A husband is to lead and lead by example. And the woman is to respond to that. You are not a husband. You don't give me something to respond to. You do not lead and you don't lead by example. You're crap. You're a roommate. You're
Yeah.
a damn roommate
Yeah.
and you want to control, belittle, and make somebody feel horrible about themselves. I said, the only thing you do is financially do something. Okay. Then you want to dictate and you want to be a friend here and there, like a cool friend here and there to hang out with. And you want to appear in front of other people that you're A, B, C, D, and E.
Right.
I said, and then you want me to respond to you as a wife. It don't work that way.
Yeah.
So now that you're getting what you're getting, that's you.
Yeah.
And remember it. So if you don't like the attitude, I don't know what to tell you. You should have gone and got somebody who's, you know, who's willing to deal with that, man,
Right.
because, you know, you picked the wrong one. I'm, you know, come on now.
Yeah. So what happened next?
Man, a lot. Well, let me back it up. I mean, he comes in June. Well, we get married on June 27th, 2010. And, people start getting sick, man. I mean, really. I mean, even, things just start happening to people. I just find that odd. Uh, um, even me, like I started getting these weird things happening to me. Next thing you take a drink of something and your right cheek is numb,
Mhm.
you know, or you have just weird symptoms of things um happening, even like mental stuff, just things happening. And then not only that, you know, then my mother on February 7th, then all of a sudden she supposedly has a heart attack in the house and she passes, you know. Then the very next day, my cousin has a stroke. Then after him, the next year, my aunt, and then she dies. Then after that, I think it was Lori. Then after that, somebody else, like bow, 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 bow,
Tons of people die.
back to back.
Yeah.
Even I think it was a 21-year-old kid had a heart attack and died on the floor. He was a Rutgers student, the vice president of the history department, Edward Romano. The vice president, I think he was the vice president or president of the Rutgers department. I have it on my page. I'll look it up. Of the history department,
Right, right.
who actually took a picture, probably didn't know better, took a picture with Cory Booker of New Jersey, and actually received a letter from Obama. Probably didn't know better at the time. Edward Romano the third, 21 years old, I think he was, college kid, drops dead before he got to finish school. He was almost done.
Yeah.
Of a heart attack.
And
Out of nowhere.
at this point, so your mom was living with you. She passed and a whole bunch of other people passed. Were you getting sick as well?
Yes.
Okay. How about
And I also was like, I never, ever, ever had any type of, like problems with certain, like I felt like, like I'm out of my mind, all that kind of stuff. Like all of a sudden my like cheek got numb and lips were getting numb, like certain things were happening, and like I would notice like certain drink or certain things, and it was like I'm feeling like real emotional or real this, like I want to hurt myself. I want to, like real agitated, irritable, like bad, real bad. I'm telling you. And then all of a sudden, too, oh, you have Addison's, you have this, you have that, you know, and I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't even go to listen, I'd be at a doctor's office and I'd be there going in the seat waiting for my appointment. I'd be like this, sleeping.
yeah.
Okay. I could look at the energy I have now. when I go over what's it called, I'm up. What I wouldn't be. Listen, I couldn't stay awake for an hour show. I mean, there was something. You would think that I was, and there's witnesses to this too. People would tell me you were like bedbound. They used to call me bedbound. Um, it was insane. But here's the key. I get away. I used to have to go for IV treatments of iron and ferritin levels and all this kind of stuff.
So
All
that,
this, and they could go bound. It's in Bound Brook, New Jersey, Somerset Hospital.
yeah.
Any court wants to pull it up, right there.
So
I was in the hospital every month, almost every month. I'm in the hospital for like adrenal crisis. I haven't been since I got the heck away from that crazy.
yeah.
How does
So
that happen?
so the easy question is, do you think the doctors were telling you the truth? Like, were they truly trying to help you, or do you think they were like kind of part of what was going on? And then
I think some
obviously
of them were part,
that's
especially
my
that pain management doctor, because that pain management doctor made more money than me and the lawyer put together.
yeah,
That's another thing we could get into. There was a lot of people, I think, in on a lot of this.
right, right. Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. So we think, all right, like to summarize this, we think your husband was poisoning you.
Damn right.
Yeah. And he poisoned other people and killed them, or, killed them however he did. But we also think other people were in on it. And so you were in the hospital, or you were even home incapacitated, and you really weren't allowed to have help healing. Like, you weren't allowed to have helpers. He wanted you sick. That's what you told me before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time somebody rushed in and said, "Why are you leaving her laying on the floor?" He was sitting there hoping I didn't breathe.
Yeah.
And her name was, I'm going to tell you in 1 second,
Yeah.
because it was what's his name's mom. I don't want to mention the kid's name. He's older now, but I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention the kid's name's mom. The kid's name.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
so I just want, what I've been wanting to get to is this point where your husband was poisoning you. All right. So he marries you, he abandons you, kind of like you're there. It's not a true marriage. Okay. There's a lot of weird marriages out there. Like, there's no definition, but he didn't really want you. He just wanted to be married to you and theoretically control you. Then he poisoned you and many of the other people in the family surrounding you. And so what happened after that? Like, you were not doing well, you were like trying to recover, you didn't understand what was happening at the time, you were going through it because you were told by the doctors what you had. What happened next?
um, the multiple car accidents.
Yeah. Okay. So, want to tell us about some of them, or just, you can gloss over them, you don't have to go into detail, you can just tell us what you want. But what did, like,
Well, just when I thought, well, the first one would be, oh, yay, I got my nursing license. Let me go get a job. I guess they didn't want that to happen either. So it was like, oh, even if it was like part-time doing this, doing that, no crap. I got hired somewhere, had the paperwork to do, how you have to do your blood work, urine test, the whole 9 yards. Had that paper on the dashboard, made the appointment, did what I do. Well, I got hit from the back. Boom. Well, that one, was it that one that caused, yeah, it was. I had a broken acetabulum and a torn something in my knee. Yeah.
okay.
So there went that right out the
So you
window.
couldn't work then at that job, so you had to miss the start
Right.
date. And then what happened?
Well, that lasted for however long, and stuff like that, because I had some discs in back going to. So that lasts for however long, and then he's like, oh yeah, you gotta, this and that. So that lasted. And I had to have like an operation on the knee and some stuff going on with the hip and all that. So then um I had a torn labrum too. Yeah. Okay, so then this is what I mean by this stuff doesn't happen to people. I just healed from that. This is, like I said, they could pull the records for all this too. So I just healed from that accident. I just picked up the check from the settlement for that accident from the lawyer Gregory Status. And lo and behold, I say, yeah, maybe I'll go and try to get the nursing job again. Maybe I'll try to do it again, right?
Yeah.
I should have never said that. I just should. Wrong thing to do. But see, I didn't know, I didn't understand what I was involved in here. Anyway, well, I kid you not. I literally, I was going to get a patio set with some of the money, you just cashed that check. I just cashed it. And I told the kids, we're going to get a patio set and put it on the deck. We're going to do the deck nice for you guys for your birthdays. We're going to have a nice party, this and that, I pick up the set. I went to Walmart, picked a patio set from there, right? They loaded it in the car. On my way home, some idiot hits me again. The patio set that was in the car, the box came forward, hits me right in the back of the head. And there you go. Here we go. I'm laid up again. With another thing happened to my other knee this time. Something happened to my back, something happened, whole 9 yards, right?
Right.
Well, I'm out again. Had to have another operation on the knee. I said, well, I'll just be damned. The lawyer even said, I've never seen anything like this. You're back. Like, you're back? You just cashed the check from the other settlement. Who the hell has this? Like, who the hell does this happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I said, I don't know, Greg. I don't know. And I went back to the same doctors, and they're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. You tell me.
I'm funding a vacation home. Yeah.
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 Here we are on the other knee. Here we are on the other hip. Here we are on the other whatever. Like, here we go again. Round two.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. So there it is, So boom. I said, well, you ain't got to worry about me saying I'm going to do nursing again. I ain't doing it. I'm done. I literally asked the counselor that I seen for anxiety. My words literally were, I didn't know about all of this stuff, who I belong to, the cult this, the cult that, but I just said, John, could somebody be hexed?
Say it again.
I said, John, could somebody be hexed? Because at that point, when I looked at even from when I was younger to then, I said, this is damn impossible. It's damn impossible for anybody's life to be this screwed up. That not a damn thing that they want to do, tried. Like there's just nobody has these kind of events happen. I mean, right. just nobody. I don't care. And it's not your doing.
Right. Right.
That's what I mean though by it's not your doing. Right. You go to get your nursing license and graduate with honors at that. And no matter what, you will go and you'll try out for acting, right? And they love you, they want you, and something that you did not do will just destroy whatever you just did that was great. Nothing, okay. you're doing something and you did something for whatever people or whatever, and somebody will come along and do something very, very nasty and evil and wicked.
Right.
And everything you've done just goes right down the drain. And you tried no matter what. You know, you just never you cannot get ahead for not like it's just there's no way. Nobody's life is like this. Nobody's.
Right. Right. So how
Nothing.
long were you married, like in this kind of a situation? Like how many years?
7 or 8.
Okay. And what is that third accident the last one in this little batch?
No.
Okay. So what happened, like kind of gloss us through the rest of when you guys were together? What, anything else of import happen?
Um, let me see. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So he wasn't
Oh,
home.
my cars, like things would happen to the
Yeah.
cars. Like, I was on the road. It's like, if I was oh yeah. If the time I mentioned the one time I was supposed to meet this guy that I knew, his name was Gallagher. It was something for acting. This was in Jersey though. It's like, oh, you're going for acting now?
Mm.
Yeah, well, you go for your things all the time. What are you worried about what I'm doing for?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I'm on the turnpike and the engine on the RAV4 blew up.
Okay.
Like not completely like kaboom, but the engine blew. It went out.
Enough
That was
so
it.
you
It's done.
couldn't get to your appointment,
Well, the
right?
smoke came out. The smoke was coming from
Yeah.
the damn
Yeah.
thing. It
Yeah.
was gone. Car was that's it. That
Yeah.
was it. Over and done. Out. Over and out.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. Amazing. And believe me, he knows how to do something with whatever car he wants to make something pop off.
Well,
The Mercedes, I had to drive around with that for however long. uh he did something to the windshield wipers and something else the one time, and I'm like, and somebody said he won't fix that for his own wife. Like, yeah, listen, he had a friend. I'm not going to say it on it in case anybody sees it because I don't want to do that to the friend. I remember his own, and sometimes I wonder, was it really a friend of his or was it somebody actually infiltrating him back for me? Okay, for me. Now he said to me, he said, "Hey Lydia, are you sure he ain't with you for this house?" I mean, because his behavior's real weird to me, man. And they said, he's it's a lot of things here not right.
yeah.
And he goes, and he said, because he needs somewhere to put these cars. Needs somewhere. That's what he said. He said he needs somewhere, you know, like what's he doing in that shed? Like he was just dropping some weird, some things. And I'm like, man, I don't know what he's here for. He goes, he always wants to be alone. Like he's giving all these things, And I'm like, man,
Very
and
odd.
he's, but he was pointing these things out. And like I said, it was against him. It wasn't on his side.
Right.
Just saying.
It just seems like the poisoning thing of, again, when you're going through that, like you're sick, like you're not looking at bigger picture. You're looking at, I don't
Right.
feel good. I can't move. I can't stay awake. But
Mhm.
after
I didn't care
all,
what was going on.
what's that? What's
I
that?
didn't care what was going on at that time.
Yeah. After all of this, it's like you start to look back and say, this is not normal. And
And
eventually,
then
yeah.
let me add to it too. They had me going to the pain. Now, keep in mind, and people can verify this. I never smoked a cigarette. I don't drink alcohol, and I've never done a street drug. Never had no problems. Never, and never will anybody find on my record that I have done any kind of drugs. Now, they know this, and they know they they know they could never get me on drugs, right? So let me tell you what they tried to do though, because this is why I said I think some of them were in on it. because with that last accident, what they did is they sent the pain management in. They sent the pain management in. And this is why I hate them doctors, because what they'll do is, you need these operations, you know, and damn operations are, you know, they hurt, they're a pain in the anus. So now it's like, okay, you got to take this pain medicine, and you believe you got to take the pain medicine because at first you do need the pain medicine, you know?
Right.
So they'll start prescribing that stuff, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, good, you know, it helps. Okay, great. But then they'll start up, you need a little, you know, you need this. Okay, well, in order to come for these procedures now, you know, you got to take you're taking this, you're taking that. Now you're taking them, and you're taking them, and you're taking them. You don't even notice it's 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You're always taking these damn things. You don't even notice. You're just, now when you go to say, I don't want to take this anymore, when you go to not take it, you're like, do you know, I was so dumb. I was like, damn, I'm feeling sick. I think I'm sick today. I didn't know that it was from not taking a pill. I thought I was just sick, you know, because I didn't know what a withdrawal thing is. I didn't know what that was because I never took any kind of whatever. Somebody said, no, I think it was my counselor. They said, did you take your medicine today? I'm like, no, I didn't take it today. He's like, you know, you're going through withdrawal from your medicine. I'm like, I'm going through what? I said, oh, no, listen. I said, man, I gotta take that pill. Like, because I'm like, man, I took one. I'm like, damn, man, oh my God. Like, it was so horrible. It was so bad. You're sweating, you know, like, woo, I thought I had the flu. I thought I had like a stomach bug, like the flu or something. I thought, you know, so I'm like, damn, how the hell am I getting off? You know, it's so horrible. Listen, I was so pissed off. I was livid. I was so pissed off. Like, I was cursing him, like, this put you on something like that. Like, I mean, I was pissed because I'm like, I've never had this problem. And I go to that SOB,
Yeah.
you know? So what I did was, I got to the point where I weaned myself off. Then eventually, because I mean, people started noticing, because people who know me, I don't walk around like, you know, come on, I'm not, you know, so, and especially when I thought to myself, Lydia don't have to take pills to function. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so when I start, like, I weaned myself off, their office was calling every day. Aren't you coming back for your procedures? No,
Ooh.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You don't need your, no.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I weaned myself. I went up there too. I went up there with a taper. I wish I still had it. It's not, it's erased off my iCloud. Well, I don't even know that iCloud anymore. I wish I had. I'd play it right here for you. Well, no, I wouldn't, because there's some not so nice choice words on it. But anyway, I went up there and I told them, you're a fraud. I said, you people are setting people up. You people are creating drug addicts. You people, I mean, I went off though.
Yeah.
I said, you know, he's this and that. You know, you're acting nice to these patients. I said, you think I don't get your gig? And I was telling all the patients in the office that he's going to make you all drug addicts. And that's his plan. So he can rank in the money too. And then I told him too, because I told the lawyer, because you know what? He made more than me and my lawyer put together on my lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He ranked it up, boy. That's why, though. Think about it. If you drug somebody up and they need it, and you're calling them, well, you got to come for your procedure, got to come for your procedure, and he's raping you,
right,
financially. Now you're dependent on that drug, right? Well, you're going to keep going for your procedures, and he's charging every time, right? When your when your lawsuit hits, he gets it before you. Guess what? He knows at the time you ain't thinking about that because you want that medicine.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So you wean yourself off You told them off,
Yeah,
you told everybody else off,
damn
and
right.
then what happened?
Yeah. So I would tell anybody to be careful with them pain management doctors, because that's exactly what they'll do in order to take all of your money right before you get your lawsuit.
Right, right, right,
Drugs is the way to do it, because you don't care if you want your medicine,
right,
and you won't even notice because you don't know that that's the scam. Like, you don't know. What the hell do you know? You think you're just going to your pain management procedures. You
yeah,
have no clue that they're charging that amount, and by the time you're done, they get paid first and leave you with nuggets.
right, right. All right. So I'm with you so far. What happened next? After you got yourself, like, you're able to walk again, you're functioning.
Well, let's see. You know, so you have Craig, doing the car thing, this and that. Yeah, he used to put stuff in the trunks too. He used to do stuff like, even with the kids, like Daniel, like, say my oldest son, like if he did something he didn't agree with, like the one time, I'm like, what the hell? He went, he didn't tell me he was doing. Daniel comes back inside. He's like, Ma, my car won't start. My car won't start. 17-year-old kid now. And I'm like, your car won't start. Why? And I'm like, oh man. I'm thinking, oh man, we don't got the money right now for this. Like, oh shoot, the kid's car won't start. What's going on? And this and that. And I go, Craig, Daniel's car won't start. He fixes every other car, fix that one. Oh, that's because I took the battery out. You took you took the battery out? Yeah, I took the battery out. I put it in my trunk. You took I swear, you took the battery of his car out? Yeah, it's in my trunk. He could walk to school. So first of all, you don't tell me that the kid's car is okay and you're like doing this, but you take the battery, the whole entire battery out of, like, who the hell even does that? Wait, it goes deeper. And I mean, really, who does stuff like that? Now here's more. One time he got mad at the kid too, and he put his a $300 bike on the driveway and ran it over back and forth with the van. He just was like, and just kept going on back and forth.
Right.
Yeah. But here's the kicker though. This is the kicker where I ain't even gonna lie. I told him, you ever, because I wasn't home. I was taking Clifford to an audition. But I was letting this one girl live with me. Her and her kids were living with me
Yeah.
at the time. This is before I lost everything because of the colt. But this girl was living with me at the time, her and her kids. So she told me I wasn't home. That Craig had tried to put his hands on Daniel. Now, which I'm gonna tell you what happened, but I told him, you ever put your hands on him again, it'll be the last time you put your hands on anything. And I meant it. And what happened was I was taking Clifford to an audition, but when I got home, I see cereal on the floor, like, stuff, and I'm like, the hell happened here? Like by this veg thing we had. I'm like, the hell just happened? And her name was Dead. She came, but she's like, Lydia, I gotta tell you something. I said, the hell happened? And she's like, it was crazy here. She was like, Craig started banging on the door for downstairs, like banging, 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 yelling, Daniel, get the hell up here, you know. And Daniel's like, whoa, 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 And when Daniel opened it, Craig grabbed him by the neck, like, why you have the door, this and that. I said, he did what? And then, and when he did that, and now Craig is big. But see, Daniel's like, he wasn't that big at the time, you know, but he's a football player and he has a lot of muscle strength, you know. She said Daniel had somehow, I guess, gave him kind of like a football move or something. I don't know, and lifted him up somehow and threw him on that ledge and was like, "You ever put your hands on me again, and I'm
Wow.
gonna lay you
Yeah.
out," you
Yeah.
know. And Craig was like, "Oh, you know," and then after that, when Craig calmed down, he's like, "Yeah, you know," trying to tell the kid. She's telling me this, trying to tell the kid like, "Yeah, your mom don't have to know about this. You know, we work it out by ourselves." You know, trying to like mind screw the kid and like don't say nothing when I get home, you know, like they're cool now, everything's all good, just work it out by ourselves. Like, you know, we're all good now, it'll never happen again, you know, this and that. And they're like, yeah, all right, you know, whatever. So and
Yeah.
and I'm like, really? See, and me, I got that like a PTSD with that too, because see, George used to put his hands on mine and, you know, a lot of other stuff going, you know. So I'm like I just seen rage, man, you
Mm-mm.
know, because I'm like, you don't mother, you know, like I will effing, like I mean, really, I wanted to beat the F, you know. So I remember I just busted through the bedroom door, and I mean, he just jumped up like, you know. And I mean, you know, I'm not going to say what I said on here. It's not going to, you know, I'm just not. But yeah, you know, and then it came up to the counselor. And I mean, you know, I mean, you know, he also though, I mean, you know, that because he's like, well, you know, I understand you have PTSD and this and that, but you know, you can't say what you're saying. I said, John, I don't give a shit. Like I remember, you know, because he's like, you can't say, you know, and I'm like, I don't give a shit what I'm saying. I said, I'm
Wait,
telling you
wait.
right now. If he, like,
So
I mean,
your
I don't
husband
care.
could get mad and run over the kid's bike and take the battery out, like it's such an immature way to handle a problem, but you can't scream at him when he's attacked your child, you know?
Exactly. I mean, that's not the only thing. He took the even with her and this, he took a lollipop one time. He had it in their hands. He's like, you ain't gonna get this. He smashed it with a hammer, like, at the time. But I was like, man, I was like, I'm telling you now. I was like, that's why he got to the point where it was like, don't do it around your mother, you know, because I mean, I'm telling you, man, because I said, you know what, I'm gonna start acting like you in front of you.
Yeah.
So I used to do things purposely to him to let him know, like, man, I'm crazier than you. You want to go there? I'm crazy with you because I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
like you got the wrong one, man. You try something in this town, I'm gonna hurt you. So I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, he knew like probably like, well, I can't do her like that. I'll probably, you know, I'll have to give her another dose of poison. I'm gonna have to do quiet with her, you know, because you know, I'm not putting up with you, man. You know, there ain't gonna be that kind of stuff in this house,
Right.
man. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a fight. Like, you know, I may go to the hospital because you're big, you're all that, but you're going to. You know what I mean? It's gonna be rough in here, you know, because you know, like who does that? You know, that's why it's like you want to act like that and do all that. So no problem. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a problem too. I mean, you're acting crazy.
Yeah.
But look, when they go around other people, oh, Craig is so much. He loves you so much. I said, who are you talking about? That's what I used to tell people. I said, loves who? Who the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Your husband loves you so much. I said, lady, who the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. When I tell you that this has been my whole entire life, is making sure that I can't have a damn thing.
Right.
I can't have nothing, and nobody loves me. Nobody gives a one crap about me. Nobody wants me. I can't do anything. I no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I work at something, matter how good I am at something, no matter anything, that I am just totally discarded, unwanted, rejected, and thrown the hell away and broke and just have nothing and have to beg and beg and beg and beg
Right.
and just have nothing.
It's a way to
That's,
control someone.
that's right.
Yeah, financially,
That's right.
emotionally, all of that. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
to be, yeah, to make that person feel like they are just, they're below, they're unworthy of anything, and that they shouldn't, they have no reason for even existing.
Yeah,
Because I mean, what for what?
yeah,
And that they're a waste, like they're just lower than dirt.
yeah.
That's what it does.
It's really
I'm
unfortunate.
telling you.
So, okay, uh, more incidences. What happened next? Yeah,
I mean, people don't understand, and it's traumatizing, man.
yeah, definitely.
It's traumatizing because see, like I have a way of coming up with a lot of comedy and trying to be. A lot of people will see, oh, they'll be like, a lot of people get fooled. They'll be like, oh, well, Lydia seems okay. Lydia's happy. She's always laughing or cracking a joke or this or
Right,
that,
right,
you know. Well, yeah, I'll walk around and I'm not, because I try to keep the energy up or the this or the that, the
right,
facade going, you know. However, there's a lot of times where I don't feel like being here or I don't whatever. I don't have a damn thing. I don't have whatever. I mean there's like literally no quality of life for me.
right.
None. You know what I mean? And people don't understand that they're really there's nothing. There is nothing to look
That's
forward
going to
to.
be changing, but getting the story out
Right.
is super important. That's why we're trying to do it again, like in a more,
Right.
logical way. So people understand what you went through, and it brings out the truth, and it also brings up the consciousness of everyone. You know what I mean?
Right.
More this stuff is exposed because so many other people are coming forward with it, the more it brings the consciousness of all up. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So yeah, so that's that. So, fast forward. I mean, there's other stuff that
yeah.
has gone on, but we can.
All right, so you were saying that a few other things happened that were weird with Craig, or is that the bulk of the major ones?
um yeah, there was a weird day. I mean, um I'm not going to say who. I'm going to keep this person's name out of this.
Yeah.
He was caught, like he would always be caught uh whacking off in the bathroom,
Oof.
you know.
Okay.
And then
It,
he got, wait, this part's kind of funny though. You
okay.
might want to know. He got aggravated because I told somebody. Well, I thought it was just outrageous. So I decided to say, like, to somebody who was coming over, and they were doing like Bible studies and stuff, because whatever. Because he was like, Craig was also like a Seventh-day Adventist and stuff, you know. And I told the person, I was like, well, he thinks it's better to, you know, in the bathroom rather than be with his own wife. I was like, and you could, and I was like, the person who's always catching him doing it in the bathroom or whatever, they hear his feet like bang against the floor all the time, like boop, 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 when he's doing it. Well, they do.
Yeah.
They like gave a description and everything. Like, I'm like, and the person was like, with you in the next room? Like he has like a woman in the next room and he jerks off in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then he's like, yeah, you told these people that jerk. I was like, well, yeah, it's counsel. What do you like? What do you expect me to do? Of course, I'm telling them that you jerked off. He was all mad because his business was out there. I was like, oh well, I don't even care. I was like, because that's what you do. You should be proud of it. You should be proud of it. And then the one counselor too, he decides like, oh, we're gonna go to couples counseling, right? But he decides that like he tells her straight up that he's not changing a thing about himself. And she says, well, then why did you come here? And he's like, I don't know. I just decided I was going to come. And then she was like, do me a favor and never bring him back again. You're dealing with a narcissist. I said, well, I just wanted to hear it from
Yeah.
someone else.
Well, it gives you proof and confirmation that,
Yeah.
that all the experiences that you've had, were, you're not crazy and it was real. So, weird, but
Mhm.
weird. Real, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he started with the whole, like, he would sit there and start with the Seventh Day Adventist thing. He would start like, oh, it's the Sabbath. It's the Sabbath. But yet, okay, so you're not supposed to do A, B, C, D, and E on the Sabbath. But if somebody calls about them cars, you're out. You're gone.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, how come you're doing the cars today? It's the Sabbath. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so okay, you celebrate the Sabbath, but you'll do this, you'll do that, it's just
Yeah.
like, or just like crazy weird things,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
Uh,
So move us forward in time. What happened next?
um, let's see. So I mean, um, everybody kept telling me I need change, this and that, blah, blah, yada yada. With change of environment, which I kind of did because everything around there was like, reminded me of certain things or what, certain things happening and stuff. So, we decided we're going to North Carolina, which that was the biggest mistake of my life. I hate that place. Um, I do, because he sends me a listing in Fayetteville to go check out. Cumberland County, Fayetteville, which is also Fort Bragg, right? So, Fort Bragg area. Now, so find something there, boom, we moved to Fayetteville.
And he moved with you.
Yeah, he wound up coming. So anyway, so all the problems began. Got worse. Now, at that time, Trump was running for president and all that kind of stuff. That's the time frame we're in, right?
Mhm.
Things started getting mighty weird.
Okay.
Mighty weird. I mean, there was some weird crap going on. But now he would be in Jersey, then Fayetteville, then Jersey, then Fayetteville, Craig, you know, but then he finally came down there full time. But I remember, man, this was weird too. Before he came down there full time, this was weird, man. He was there in Jersey, right? And I had to come up there for something. I think it was an appointment when they were wrapping up the settlement and the case for the last car accident that took place there, right, in Jersey. And I had to come up there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, all right," because he was still, there. He was there at that time. Um, and I went back to the house, and this had never happened. This was the weirdest. I couldn't believe it. Never was it like this. This was the weirdest thing. We went back, and it was me and Daniel. Thank God I didn't take the other two kids. But anyway, we go back to the house. I come in the house, this and that. I don't know what in the hell was going on there, but holy crap. I don't even know how to explain. That house, I went to like, I was screaming, yelling, jumping. I had to take my stuff and leave. I had to take Daniel. We had to leave. There was rats all over the place. And he's sleeping in the bed. Like there's nothing going on. I swear to God. And in fact, somebody would vouch for me too because I called her. Her name's Wandy. I'm screaming and crying in the car like I had nowhere to go. I didn't have enough money to just, I had to be out there for the appointments. How they tell you have to like go to certain appointments when they're wrapping up the cases and all that and this and that. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not going back. And that house wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, what in the hell was that? And me and Daniel are in the car. I'm screaming and crying because I was like, I couldn't
How many rats are we talking? 50?
more.
Really? 100?
They were just running like this all over. And literally, I'm sitting there like, jumping like, I've never seen nothing like that, man. Never in my
Wow.
life. Literally, I mean, they're running throughout, up the hallways, in the kitchen, in the bedrooms, and he's laying in the bed, and he's like, they'll stop when it's morning. Yeah, no, I swear to God, I couldn't even believe it.
Okay.
First of all, if you, wow, first of all, how the hell did it even happen? Let's go there. Why? Like that bugs me out. Why are they there?
That's very odd. Very odd. Unless like a lot of food was left in the house and, you know,
No, man. He
yeah.
was living there. He was living, well, living there like a couple months. You know what I mean? Why are they there?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, you're there. How did they, like, why, like, how the hell did it even happen? How we used to live in the house. We did, it's not like we weren't gone even 6 months yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did this, how the hell did this occur within a 4 or 5 month span? Where in the hell did it come? So you're there and that happens.
They can make a nasty mess. That's for sure.
Okay, then not only that, then I tell you that I'm coming and you say nothing. Really?
Yeah.
You just say, oh, okay, I'll see you when you get here, knowing,
The rats are there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then I come in, whatever, and then it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, you know, and I'm like, oh, oh my God,
Yeah.
Wandy rented me a hotel room. I'm shaking. She came to the hotel room, gave us, you brought food and snacks, and then gave us money to get, you know what I mean? And she said, what is wrong with that? I said, I don't know. Like, I mean, really,
Yeah.
no, uh, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And he said, what did he say? He was like, well, they wouldn't have bothered you, like something crazy. And I'm like, you're a nut, man.
Yeah. So what happened after the rat incident? So you were living in North Carolina. You go back, you find all these rats. You have to wrap up your court case for your jillionth accident. Not
That ain't the
making fun
last
of you.
one.
Yeah, it's not typical stuff.
After that, they set my car on fire.
Yeah, okay. Seen pictures of that.
That was on March 22nd. The car on fire.
Yeah.
That was in well, that was when I was living in Fayetteville, when I was traveling, bringing Clifford to an audition. See, God forbid.
Yeah.
See, now they got away with stealing the kid already. Now we signed to Def Jam, but that's without me. See, that's without me. I can't be involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's just some weird stuff, man. Yeah. I mean, they also, here's another thing they like doing too, man. I noticed too, they like planting like any type of weird kind of like bugs in your house and certain stuff like that, man. They like that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And I
Okay.
mean, these people are
So
crazy.
how did you get away from Craig? Like what happened? How did you
Well,
disengage?
that stuff I had to just, pick up and leave, man. With all this stuff. But I mean, that's cars going on fire, this, that. And after they stole the kids and this and that, pick up and leave. But see, that goes with some other stuff happening. But once they started all the gang stalking, cars going on fire, um the CPS, the stealing the kids, um trying, the evictions, the whole, you're a mental nutcase, um we're, every time you turn around, they're calling, the, oh, she's going to do something to herself and other people, she's going to do this, she's going to do that, just because I go down and report that, something on, say, Jim Norris or this one or that one, like report what's going on. Next thing you know, before I even get home from the FBI, the cops are there like, oh, we have a report that you're going to hurt yourself or something. Like, you go to report something on the FBI and they are there waiting for you
Right.
with
Okay.
with a complaint that you're going to hurt yourself or something,
Okay.
like, you know.
So we'll go after the rat incident. We're not going to finish up today. It's very clear at this point.
That's
So
why I'm not even like really heading there, because that's so big.
yeah.
What's the
Okay.
sense? It's a word that, you know what I mean? Like, we start that and it's like,
Yeah.
that ain't going nowhere today.
We're running out
It's
of
so
time. All
much.
right.
Like,
So let's finish up the Craig story and like what happened after the rats and the court case. Like your car was put on fire, and I've seen those pictures before, and it was a pretty severe fire, and
mhm,
it wasn't like a little fire, it was a big one. So what else
mhm.
happened?
Let me state though, with that fire too, that was March 22nd, 2017, with the car going on fire. Yes. So just to say, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
there's significance. I'll bring that up later.
Yes.
That's why.
To save time.
Mhm,
All right.
I'm gonna, that there's a reason I'm bringing that up now.
Okay.
So remember that date, people. March 22nd is 322,
Yep. Okay.
2017, when Trump was in office, just got into office.
Right. Okay. Okay. All
The
right,
reason I
so what
bring,
happened then? So what happened with the car fire? You obviously got out safe.
well, yeah, it started smoking. So I told Cliff it was just me and him, because we're going to that audition.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up too later. But we were going to that audition for him, and because he made it for something, and the car starts smoking, and I said, "Get the hell out of this car!" Like, and I drifted it over to the side, and I got my pocketbook, whatever, got out of the car. We were standing on the side. Windows started busting out. Tires started popping because the flames were rising. And yeah, it was just boom, on
Pretty
fire.
intense, intense. So how do you think that fire started?
It was either direct energy weapons, or it was done, like somebody did something that you can do to get it to go on fire when you're going on a trip that's going to be, say, more than a half an hour, say, on a highway.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So then of course you're without a car, but what happened after that?
Well, that's when you have a man named Jim Norris that was came around, who's a certain somebody too, that was selling this certain Ponzi scheme called a seed A raise. And as well,
What was it?
and
What was it called?
seed A raise, like the seed program, seed A raise, you know, like certain people want to, seed the whole human race. And, you know,
Well,
they
tell
have
us
things.
about that.
Yeah,
So
well, they have things. Well, certain individuals had things running out of a New Mexico ranch. They had things running out, you know. they had things running out of certain areas, like islands and stuff like that. They like to get people's DNA. They decide that they are the superior race and want to seed the whole human race with their DNA. Well, there's also, they like to mirror the effect. They like to run, schemes, and uh, you know, they like to give you a clue on who they are sometimes,
Right.
and they also have Ponzi schemes that they do, and sometimes they'll come up with something called seed raises.
Okay.
So,
So basically you were working for Jim Norris, is that correct?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell that story? Is this a good time
Well,
for it?
that scumbag came in. Sorry. I mean, he came in, he is a scumbag though. But that scumbag came in and infiltrated, and he's another one. Oh, you're this and you're that. And all you need is a partner, because you're so smart. You could do this, you could do that. And they'll boost up and encourage you about how great you could be, and and how you could really do well for yourself and this and that, very good at what they do. And next thing you're sitting here thinking that you can really turn your life around, and you really feel good about yourself.
Right. Right.
And you have hope again. You have hope in your life that's going to whatever.
Right.
So here you are, and you're saying, well, and then they're saying, you know what, I'm going to give you the down payment, you know, for a car, because you're doing this for me anyway, and I'll get back in no time because you're investing this, it's gonna get back, and blah 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 blah. So you're like, this is great, it's perfect, and he's paying you to train and everything. I mean, life is just looking so damn good right now after what just happened. I mean,
Right.
jeez,
Right.
everything's all good. So here you go, and you're working for it, you're learning, you're feeling good about yourself. Yeah, things are looking up. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, literally back at the ranch, you know, yeah, it's a scheme. So then, you know, you go get this car and all that. So you're all good with that. But once you realize that that person's running a scheme and all that, because they are, you don't like that. And you decide to become the whistleblower for the scheme because you're not really down with these kind of schemes. And you're like, whoa. So then that person, like, they thought they were running such game on you. It blew their mind that you actually turned around and said, I'm not freaking going to be in on this crap. Like,
Right.
they really thought that they really, like, literally, he actually said to me, you were supposed to be helping me. You were supposed. And I'm like,
So,
not.
so you were a fundraiser. Am I correct there? You were a fundraiser for that position or that company, and didn't you basically try to work with wealthy people and get their money? Isn't that what he wanted
um
you to do?
yeah, he wanted me to be, I guess, a recruiter.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, like, learn it so I could recruit and help. Plus, I guess he was using me too. Like, I was that girl, so that, like, innocent, good girl that had some knowledge that would make him look good, that would make him look, like a trustworthy person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're here, he's got this woman that's sitting with him that, looks innocent and just nice, and then has this nice kind of like personality, and just so, all sweet and nice and kind and da 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 da, you know, and it's like, oh well, we should trust that. So it's like he, he's trying to just use me
Right.
for whatever, but when he found out, like, he was like, you're supposed to be on my side. Not if you're stealing people's money,
Yeah.
Jim.
Manipulation. So
Yeah, like,
basically, you found out that, what he was doing wasn't honest and you were like, I'm out. right.
Yeah, I'm done, man. You
Yeah.
know, and it bugged him out. He was pissed, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, listen,
And didn't you email his whole list?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I played the tape and everything. Yeah, yeah. You must have heard the tape, right? Yeah, I
well, yeah,
did.
yeah.
I did.
So
Yeah, yeah,
you,
I did. I got his voice. Yeah, yeah, I did. I posted that on the page too. Yeah, I did. I emailed. Yeah, he didn't take too kind to that. Oh, yeah, I did. I emailed. See, that's where he messed up because he brought me on all those meetings and I connected people from all the different states and groups. And what I did is I took all their emails and put them together and emailed everyone and told them he's a fraud and he's running a Ponzi scheme.
yeah.
And he was, like Bernie Madoff and everything. And I told them that people aren't getting their money back. They all knew who I was because I was the person that sat, you know what I mean? So they all knew, like, oh shoot, that, you know what I mean? She's telling you, like, and I was like, attention, everybody, like Jim Norris is da 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 da. And he's like, my cousin told me you emailed everybody in the group. And I'm playing dumb. I'm like, I don't know. I have to, because I'm playing like him. He wants to call everybody, but like, well, I don't know. I don't recall that. I don't do this. I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna give him a taste of his own medicine. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Jim. I have to check. He's like, Lydia, don't play Chico, you know if you email them. I'm like, I don't know, Jim. Let me check. Like, and he's just like, and I did. And then after I did that, I taped him. And then after he did that, I actually posted that in the emails too as an audio and sent that out.
Oof,
Oh
brutal.
no, he was fuming, man. And he told me too. He was like, "You're gonna pay for this," and I didn't know who he was and what he had. I didn't know any. I didn't even know this kind of thing existed. Okay, if I did, I probably wouldn't have damn sent the damn emails out. I could be honest with you. Yeah, I guess I am paying for it though. But you know, yeah, I did. And then I also taped that song from American Greed that goes near 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 near. That song from that show. And I played that with him saying something behind it and sent out in the emails and said he is the biggest fraudster. Please no longer report your finances to
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Norris. So
So how did you find out what he was doing and who he was? Like,
because the people weren't getting their money and things were going on, and when they started telling me what's going on, at first I was like, well, let me give them the benefit of the doubt, let me see what's going on. And then he was saying like it's tranching, it's this and that, whatever tranching meant at the time, and I looked into it and I'm like, tranching, I'm looking up tranching, like, and I'm like, I don't even know what this crap means. How do I know who's lying here? How do I know what the hell's going on? Like, because I'm like, I don't even know. I'm learning this stuff. Like, I don't even know, like,
yeah,
could he be telling the truth? I don't even know what the hell that means. So I'm like looking stuff up, like to see, like, because he made it sound good, like he made it sound like, and I'm like, at first he was convincing. I'm like, well, maybe he's not lying. Like, how do I know he's lying? What do I do? You know? So I'm like, damn, man, but then after whatever, and I like found out whatever, this and that, and whatever. I'm like, oh man, he's running a damn Ponzi scheme. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm looking up Ponzi scheme. I'm looking up this. I'm starting to watch Bernie Madoff. And, I'm saying, oh man, So then when I did that, I'm like, oh no, 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 like, so, and I'm like, oh, this ain't good, man. So then that's when I did that. So then I was like connecting everybody together. But here's where I knew too, because there was this bishop guy. And now here's another thing he did when he went to go meet with the bishop and the bishop's party, like like the bishop's couple of guys. He told me that I had to stay in the room at the hotel because the bishop, and I believed it like an idiot, the bishop, like those guys there, they didn't really want women in the meeting. They're older bishops and they believe that, it should be men and men, whatever. And I'm like, okay, who cares, whatever. Well, this idiot didn't want me there because he's selling them lies about how I was able to buy my car because I made so much money in full.
right,
Okay.
right.
I was
Okay.
able to buy my car because
Right.
I made so much money in full. I would like he's selling them like I made tons of money off this program because they spoke to me before. And I said I was able to buy a car and do things and whatever because I was, but I never said like in full and this and that. He just said, tell them how you were able to get your car. And I said, yeah, I was able to get a car. I bought the car. I did this. I did that. You know, life turned around. Jim is helping me. I told my story. What he did was took it and he ran 800 miles. Okay.
He embellished.
That's right.
Yeah. Embellished.
So what he did was he said, you're not going to go to the rest of the meetings or whatever the heck he did. Okay. And he took that and told all these lies. So that's why I wasn't invited to the meetings. Right. So when I heard that from the bishop guy, I said, well, I'll just be damned. So I knew, I'm like, he is a fraud from the pit of hell. So I told the bishop, I said, well, that's not true, sir. I said, that is absolutely not true. I said, and I think I just figured out what he did. I said, because when I told you what I told you, I said, he told me to tell what, my story. I said, and this is my story. I said, he did help with the down payment. I said, because I was invested, and I was making this money, whatever, and this got paid back or whatever. So this did happen. I was able to get a car. I was this and was that. I said, that car's not paid in full, sir. I said, now, this other thing, that's coming for this, sir, from this, sir. This and this is coming from this, sir. I said, it's not how he's saying it. I said, here's the catch, though. He told me that I can't go to the rest of the meetings with you because of this, and this. I said, and you're probably most likely, if I'm not correct, you're probably not even like that because he's probably telling me that because he went to go tell you this story. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah.
He goes, I never said that. I said, exactly. I said, so from you telling me that, he just didn't want me to go to meetings because he was making this story up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So therefore, what happened was I told them that this and that. Then I know they notified the FBI as well, but I went to the FBI. I did not know who he was otherwise yet. I just knew Jim Norris. You know, I went to the FBI in Fayetteville. They must have been in the background, like, report her. She's here reporting Jim Norris, and Jim Norris is such and such. I won't drop the name yet. By the time I got to my house, there was cops there. We have a report that you were going to kill yourself. I said, what? I said, how do you have a report that I'm going to kill myself? I was just at the FBI. How was I going to kill myself at the FBI? So that was a couple of hours out of my day to get sent home because it wasn't going to happen. Okay. All right. So that was that first time. All hell starts breaking loose. But I mean, it was breaking loose before then, but still it got worse. Okay. But yeah, I got to the house and they were right there from reporting that SOB. I kid you not. You can't, I'm telling you, it's real. Okay. So Jim Norris, the name is Jim Norris. So just saying.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really when your troubles really started,
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. So how did you find out his identity? Like, what? Keep going with your story.
Okay.
As much as you want to tell.
Yeah. Well, that I didn't find his out yet. And actually, it was George House before first. They kept on saying the name is George, and they kept on playing certain flicks in my house. And I said, with the YouTube or the this or the that, and they kept on loading stuff on my TV, and I'm like, what in the hell do I keep getting, helter skelter for, And I'm like, why in the hell? Every time I turn on the TV or whatever, you go to the YouTube or you go to something else, even on the side, like it could be on the side, on an app or something, somewhere, anywhere I go, it would be something like helter skelter, interviews, anything, right? All I was getting was Charles Manson. Everywhere I go. I was even getting the songs that he used to that he wrote, I guess. It was "Look at Your Game, Girl" or some crap. And I'm like, I didn't know, and I was like, who the hell is that singing? It was Manson. I kid you not, it was Manson. And
Which
I'm
is
like,
a
what?
little weird because it was 20 what, 17 then? And this
Mhm.
the whole Charles Manson thing happened way long ago.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why are you
years
getting
and
these
years and years.
songs and
Then
Helter
they even
Skelter?
came out with, we found or something about Charles Manson's teeth around them too. I mean, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about it. It's so weird, and because I remember, because I'm telling you, I was getting all the Manson stuff. Look it up. It was like 2017 or 18 or something like that, with
Yeah.
something with his teeth or something. Like, there's something so weird, man.
Okay.
And so I'm getting nothing on my YouTube but Charles Manson interviews, Charles Manson this, Charles Manson that, like all, Helter Skelter, which is Charles Manson stuff. The Manson girls, the Manson girls. Um, I'd go outside and literally people would be dressing. Now it's 2017. They'd have people dressing like hippies. Who does that? Like in the mall. And I at first I'd be laughing. I'd be like, look at these assholes dressing like hippies, you know? But then I'm like, the hell? Like it would dawn on me, like, they're dressing like the damn Manson girls around here. What the hell's going on? like this is a nut house. I mean, like, oh, what the heck's going on around here? You know? But then they would be walking around like, the name is George, and I'm like, constantly wherever I go. So if I'm in the mall, if I'm here, if I'm there, the name is George.
Okay. Now,
And
when
I'm
you
like,
heard the name is George, we had talked
yeah,
about this before.
yeah.
About how many times, let's say per day, or like what's the length of time you've heard that saying? And second part is, did the people appear alert and like regular people, or did they appear a little bit odd to you, the ones that were saying that to you?
Both. And I'd hear it depends on how long I'm out. So
Yeah,
the longer I'm out, so if I'm out all day, it's going to go all day. If I'm out a
yeah,
short period of time, it goes that short period of time.
yeah, yeah,
But it goes wherever I'm at. So if I'm at the gas station, I'll hear it at the gas station. If I go from the gas station to the mall, it goes from the gas station to the mall. If I'm at, you know, gas station, then Walmart, then whatever, it goes from the
yeah,
gas
yeah,
station. Just follows you. I
yeah,
literally follows you. And from state to state too. So say I was in North Carolina, and then I was
yeah,
going to Jersey or whatever. I stop in the middle, like to Maryland. It literally follows you.
yeah.
You could
So
even
you,
have a license plate that says George in front of you. Like it's that serious.
so you would basically hear that all day
Mhm.
long, pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what clicked? What clicked?
Um, because they put on this one interview, and in that interview, it's a spitting image, but not only a spitting image. I mean, even the shirt that he wore and everything. And I just sat up and was like,
I'm getting chills.
yeah. I
So,
just sat up and was
so
like,
basically,
oh. But then I remember too, I was like, I did call him Manson. And I'm like, wait a minute, because they also started putting on how, like, the they put on those videos about what is that place called? It's a jail, and they were putting on jail escapees. The jails in California.
Alcatraz?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. They were putting on Alcatraz. They were putting on Alcatraz, escapees.
Uh-huh.
So even though he don't have to escape from Alcatraz, it's just the connection of like somebody may not be in jail. Like take a look. And I'm like, I just was like, the hell?
So what
And
you're
then it was the way he laughed. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, are they telling me? And then it's like the way you'll get confirmations on stuff. And I'm like, whoa. So then I can't explain it, but like it was the way they'll do stuff. So then you'll start to look certain things up and you will literally find your information in certain things. Like, okay, for instance, when you look up Charles Manson, he was in a school and you'll show him in the bakery department like with bread or something there. He was in a school or something like a bad whatever, and it was in Plainfield. um what's it called, where was he from? Indiana.
okay.
Okay, and think about it, we lived in South Plainfield, New Jersey. That's
Interesting.
just one. That's one out of the many, many other things you would find, okay, that will coincide with the say George Haupt, right? Um, so yeah.
So,
So
to summarize, okay,
mhm.
your adopted father's name was George Haupt, Haupt, right?
U P as in Peter, T as in Thomas,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, and he was weird.
Oh,
We
wait, here. My mother's
uh,
birthday, March 29th. Lois Ann Haupt, right? Here, watch this. Manson's, well, I'll pull it up right here. Yeah, I mean, you can't make it up, man.
well,
Manson,
I
I
want to just restate what you've been telling us in a long-winded way, is that you were hearing when you were in North Carolina, you're hearing the name is George multiple times a day through people all over, no matter where you went. Okay. And if you left that area, it would follow you wherever. And then you just happen to see a show on your TV. And you were seeing videos and things, but a show on your TV about Charles Manson. And that's when you recognized him. Okay.
yeah,
So do you want to tell everyone who he was?
yeah,
Yeah. Or do you want me to?
yep. Oh, you can. Go
So
ahead.
basically, believe it or not, Lydia's father, adopted father was Charles Manson.
There it is.
Okay, so that's the first leap of faith we're going to make with this story. And I'm sorry it's taken us so long to get to, but I wanted to set up the foundation for it. And as you may or may not know, a lot of these stories are fabricated. We've given a backstory and we were given a story about what happened that may or may not be true. All right. So for
Right.
some reason, he was given money, a household, a fake wife, adopted kids, and obviously he was super weird. But the whole thing is so odd, isn't it? That's only the first step in Lydia's story. So what were you
No, it
trying to
gets
show
worse.
us about your mom?
I just want to show you this. See that? Can you? Oh, wait. It's, let me see if I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. All right.
Can you see
A
it?
little blurry. Come in. It's still blurry. Still blurry. Still blurry, but why don't you read us what it says?
All right. Shoot.
Okay, and then we can look it up on our own.
All right. Well, Charles Manson, if you can look it up, it says on this day, March 29th, Charles Manson sentenced to death for tape, right? So
Yeah,
he was sentenced to death for tape before, and then they overruled the death sentence, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they said they canceled the death sentence, right? So it was March 29th, right? Well, anybody could go to my Telegram page to see too, because I have posted the March 29th, the proof of my
Yeah,
mother's birthday,
yeah,
which is his wife,
mm,
is March 29th.
yeah, yeah. So they're
They put these
using,
clues everywhere. I'm
yeah.
just letting you know.
And the average person doesn't put two and two together. Now you've had an unusual life, so you've learned to put all this together. So when we had talked before, you told me basically that these my name is George people, they would be almost zombie-like, and they would walk up to you out of the blue and say, the name is George, and they'd keep going or whatever. But you get that all day long. Is that correct? So
Yeah.
that is not normal. Would you think a good force or a bad force was behind that? Like, it's a little bit of a weird question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't have to answer. I'm just like, I'm
yeah,
pondering, like, who's the one behind it? Somebody good or somebody bad, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anymore. It's like, I mean, I sometimes I'm starting to wonder now at this point. It's like, what is all this for at this point? Like, what do you want me to know for if you're just gonna do nothing about it? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're aware now. So can we go back to the Jim Norris thing? All right. So you're working for Jim Norris. You find out he's a liar and a cheater and scamming people out of their money. So you become a whistleblower and basically tell on him. He calls the police. He says, "Hey, she's going to hurt herself." So they show up, and so there's a lot of ugliness there. How did you find out who he was? Like, when did you realize who he was?
Similar in a way. However, I
Yeah.
didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was at that time. So that took a little while.
Yeah.
What happened with him, though, was when the Jeffrey Epstein story hit, what was that, 2000, like 20 or something? It hit,
Mm.
um, or 2019.
Maybe 19.
Yeah,
So this is
19. Yeah, I had to think,
2017.
like my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that hit and they put him on TV, it was in his demeanor, it was the way he was doing something. I sat up and knew like that.
Did he
I
look
sat
the
up and
same?
I said, it's the way, yes, they don't look identical because he had a nose job and he had his ink job and certain things done. But I kind of got more, by that time, I could kind of tell that kind of stuff already, but I learned how to kind of point that out by now. But it's it's the way he moves, it's the way the body structure,
Yeah.
it's the way he was doing, it's those characteristics and certain things. I just sat up and was like, oh, it's Jim, like I knew. And then like I just knew because I spent so much time with him, and there's certain things that he does that will give him away.
Okay.
And when he did those things on, when I seen those tapes or whatever, when he did those things, I was like, and kept watching it over and over, and I'm like, and that's Jim, like, like, oh shoot. And now knowing everything I know about what they do and how they do it, and that they're putting these people in and blah 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 blah, I said, I'll just be damned, And then I started doing what I normally do, looking things up to see if it also matches, because I know that's their formula. That's what they do. They put a message out there to let you know. And part of what this cult does is, it's up to you. Like they have to, part of their thing is they have to put a message out there to
Just
try to tell you. And if you don't catch on, it's then your fault. They've
yeah.
done their
Oh,
job.
we told
Not
you. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're actually not allowed to just do it without sending some kind of symbolism out. They're not. That's actually part of their like key in the ritual. They have to do that
Yeah.
or they can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you don't catch it, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's how they work. So if you know how to read it, so I went automatically and looked for it, and the matches were there as well as me seeing it like this, and then the matches matched right up. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So basically, the first leap of faith is that Charles Manson was the adopted father. Okay. And we don't really know who your mom was or like why she was there, but then we've got
Mm-mm.
Jim Norris equals Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey
And
Epstein.
this was, of course, before the big, famous blow up, but he had been in trouble multiple times before and let free and, given a slap on the wrist and let free. Oh, off you go, because there's a lot going on behind the scenes there that I
Same
don't,
as George Howe too.
yeah. So
Every
there's,
time he did something, right out.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of, again, the common people, they read the magazines or the newspaper or now Facebook headlines, and that's how they get their news. And so they're fed a story, like they fabricate a background, they fabricate all this stuff. And of course, we don't know any better than to believe it, right? But pretty much
Mhm.
a lot of that is not true, is really what the bottom line is. Yeah.
Well, see, that's how they're getting away with abusing the crap out of people like me and other ones like me. Because
Yeah.
believe me, I mean, I may be the only one with this particular story or a story like this. Maybe not everybody's as targeted as this. Um,
Yeah.
but there's other people. I'm not the only
Yeah.
person here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things are going to get worse. Things are worse, and things have been worse. I'm not letting everything out right this second.
Right. I
That'll
understand.
come later. There'll be other things that I do later, and there'll be more. But how they get away with the horrific abuse that they're doing and what they bank on is the fact that nobody will believe you.
Yeah.
And think about it. Everybody needs to open their mind. What a perfect abuse
Right.
and terroristic way to corner,
Yeah.
whoever you're doing this to in. Okay. So if you can make it and put somebody in a scenario where it is very impossible for anybody to care what that person is saying and believe a word they're saying. And then you also have certain law enforcement and doctors and lawyers and organizations working for you. And then the mass of people will not believe a word the person is saying.
Yeah.
Who's on
It-
their side and
it's a
everybody's on yours.
We use peer pressure to keep people in line. So if Lydia says something that the rest of us guys don't believe in it, we kind of say, "Oh, you're crazy. You're believing the wrong thing," to keep her in line. And that's happened so many times. After a while, you're like, "Wow, they must all be right. I can't be right." So it's a form of
Mhm.
control,
It's a
manipulation.
way, and they're abused. And here's the key: they could abuse thousands and thousands and thousands of people this way. And here's the key of how to do it too. Like the targeting individual program,
Yeah.
it's not that they're abusing, oh, a couple of people, a couple of individuals. No. Why they'll call it individual is this: isolation. That's the key word you use: isolation. So they'll just isolate the person,
Yeah.
but it can be a million isolated people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Typical abuser tactics. Think about it. Even if it's not this type of abuse, what does an abuser do to, say, you or a family member of yours? If you've ever dealt with somebody that you care about, it's like, man, next thing she met him or he met her, we can't get in touch with this person. We haven't been really, they just don't talk to us no more. They're this and that. The person's been just pulled away from whoever, and isolated from the
Right.
whole family or all their friends because of whatever. That person will get that person isolated. Well, what are these people doing? They will isolate whoever it is so they can control and dominate and have their way. And then they make this because they got the power, the money, the resources, they got the newspapers, they got the internet, they got everything on lock and key. they will make it impossible for these people to be believed, and they will control it. Okay, they will control whether your voice gets heard or not, somehow, some way. They will control what,
Censorship.
how
Yeah.
your platform, everything. And this way, it's like you're going to just die a slow death if nobody listens to you, nobody believes you, and your whole life is just going to waste. Nobody supports you financially, nobody supports you mentally, nobody supports you emotionally, nobody supports you spiritually, nobody supports you physically, nobody, and then those are the same people yelling that every life matters, every life. And it's like, okay, well, does it really?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of lives right now being lost, whether it's suicide, a so-called accident, poor health, over the finding, over whatever, homelessness, no poor nutrition, whatever the case may be, because nobody's listening. There's people screaming out, screaming on the top of their lungs, and nobody's listening. Nobody believes them. Nobody cares. They're passing them by. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's listening. Nobody's hearing them. Nobody's there to collect their tears. Nobody wants to know nothing. And this cult, this group right here, they are getting away with this because they bank on it. And it is literally the perfect plan for self-destruction, suicide. It's the perfect kill program, because that's what it is. It's a kill program.
Correction. It was, because now we're aware of it. We're going to make others aware of it. So again, we're going to be sharing this, video in the story, and it's going to catch on, and your story is going to go out there, and you're going to help many with it. And, so we've got two big names in the story so far. We've got Charles Manson. Again, the story we were told wasn't true. And then we've got Jeffrey Epstein, who was trying to swindle. I thought you said famous people, but people with money. So he was trying to
Well, it's
swindle.
famous ones too. No,
Yeah,
it's famous ones too. There were some football players there now. That's why I believed it too, because I mean, there was football players, there was this and that. I mean,
yeah,
he listen. He had an NFL shirt, which was an official NFL shirt. He had the NFL logo he was using. He said he played for the Giants. Okay, I mean, it ties in because I could break it down of why you could even connect the Jim Norris and the Jeffrey Epstein, the NFL stuff, the this and that. I
yeah,
mean, he had it going on.
yeah.
So I mean,
So,
you know,
so we're at the end of today's time. I'm sorry to say, and I know it's been a long video. So if you'll hang in there for part 3, we've got at least 3 more big names to drop, and there might be more that I don't even know about yet. And I know things are always happening. So we're gonna it'll probably take us another couple of days to get that last video done. And then we should have the foundation of the story out, and then we can talk about this as much as you want. So once we get the story out there, I'd love for people to share it around. And, if you are feeling called to help Lydia, there's a PayPal, Cash App, and another link down in the description. And then there's her Telegram page link as well. And she shares a lot of info out there about her in her daily travels, all the crazy stuff that happens to her. And even when I was on the phone with her last week, she's like screaming on the phone. She found this and that. And I'm like, oh my God.
oh,
So,
you know what? Before we go, oh no, I'm not gonna.
all right.
I'll
So,
wait. I'll wait. Never mind.
yeah. All right. So we're going to talk again in a few days. We'll get the story wrapped up for those that haven't heard it before. And for those that have heard it, it's got a little bit more meat to it. It's in a more linear fashion. It is long, but worthwhile, because again, people like you need to step out and whistle blow all their experiences, the big names, all the cover-ups. And there's only one way to get that out there, and that's the common person, educating themselves and sharing it around. So thank you for your courage, Lydia, and all the things you
Thank
went
you.
through. I know you feel discouraged at time, and you feel like you've been stymied, like you can't get ahead ever. That's going to be changing very soon.
Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your time. Talk to you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.